while we're waiting for folks to join us live. Excited that you are here. And even as you are coming on live or on replay, let's just get to sharing. We're not going to be long. We're not going to be long, but we want to get to as many people as possible. Let's get everybody on all the platforms. Let's see. I think we've done that successfully. Hey, friends, as you're coming in, say hello. Let me know what city, state, nation you're joining me from today. Oops. Let's see who's on. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Hey, everybody. Come on real quick. Say hello. Let me know what city, state, nation you're joining me from. I only have a few minutes, but I wanted to come on live and share something with you real quick. I see Woodbridge, Virginia's over on Instagram. Orlando's on Instagram. New Jersey's on Instagram. Yes, DTX is on Instagram. San Antonio's on Instagram. Hello to everybody. So as you're coming in, what does someone say at the bottom? Phenomenal job at Mantle Conference. Thank you so much. You all are being so kind. I've heard so much amazing feedback from people about the small piece we played at Mantle Conference. So thank you for sharing. I'm seeing that we have Facebook, or is that YouTube? YouTube, someone from New Haven, Connecticut. That's awesome. Greensboro, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. This is amazing. Listen, I want to jump right into what I feel like the Lord has for us today. I want to be obedient to release this prophetic word for you. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to share real fast. Whether you're on the replay, watching this later, or whether you are live right now, just click the share button and share this with somebody. Invite them to come on and to be a part of this. Your job is to be a virtual evangelist. I'm going to release the word of the Lord, but you be a virtual evangelist. So excited that you're here today. And I want to share something with you. The Lord really burdened my heart. I shared something a couple of days ago out of Isaiah 54 and 2. And I felt like the Lord was not finished with what we shared out of Isaiah 54 and 2. And we talked about enlarging your tent about 2 days ago. But I felt like the Lord wanted me to release a word to you about the importance of strengthening your stakes. Strengthening your stakes. I feel like that's the next phase of what God is doing in your life, is that He's making your stakes stronger. He's making your stakes stronger. Let's read it. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 2 says, enlarge the place of your tent and let them stretch out the curtains of your dwellings. Do not spare, lengthen your cords, strengthen your stakes. So here's the first thing that I want to release to you today is that stakes determine stability, not size. When we're talking about a tent, is the picture the scriptures are painting. This is a prophetic picture for us. We're talking about a tent, a massive tent. The only way that the tent is going to be strong is that the stakes are strong. The tent is only going to last as far and as deep weather and as strong as the stakes are. And stakes determine stability, not size. So you may have the biggest tent in the world, but without strong stakes, it's worthless. It's worthless. So what's your stakes? Your stakes are your character. Your integrity is your stakes. Your private life is your stakes. So the tent of your expression, the tent of your influence, the tent of your ministry is only going to be as strong. Hey, Tiff, it's only going to be as strong as your stakes are. What's your stakes? Your stakes is your character. Your stakes is your integrity. Your stakes is your private life. So many people want everything else to seemingly be strong, but then we are not working on paying attention to our private life. Character is not what you do in the light when everybody's watching. I often say that character's what you do in the dark. Character's what you do in the dark. When you think no one's watching, that's really where character is formed. And if you want God to take what you're doing to the next level, and you want the tent of your influence, the tent of your life, the tent of your expression to go where it needs to go, it's going to be vitally important, friends, that that private life, that space of the character is going to the next level. God will only give you what your stakes can support. What I've done something over the years and being in public ministry since I was like 12 or 13 years old, but leading a church from a senior level, church movement from a senior level for about almost 16 years, coming up in January. And what I realized is that there were some moments where I was trying to figure out why things were not moving the way they needed to move, why things were not going where they needed to go. And what I found out is that there were areas in my life that needed to go to the next level privately. Wasn't that I was in any kind of sin per se, not that I was in any kind of what some people would feel any kind of stronghold, but they were the small foxes that existed. There was offenses that existed. There was capacity even in my thought life. I hadn't grown myself to the place to be able to lead the level of what I thought I was ready to lead. It was going to require me doing some things in private, simple things like reading books so that I can grow my brains, doing things like taking my time management to the next level so that I could be able to actually handle what I was believing that God wanted me to handle. So if your character can't handle the blessing, God's not going to give it to you. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. People who got promotion but lost it, sometimes it was because of their character issues. Ministries that grew big fast but then collapsed due to weak foundations. Relationships that could not handle success. These are all examples of where the stakes were not strong. And so then it didn't matter what else was being erected, it would not last. So the first prophetic statement that I'm making to you today, and I got to make it to you, and then I'm going to sound check. And if you're in Southern California, you ought to be joining me here at Kingdom Culture San Bernardino, or the Hub San Bernardino, for Detonate tonight. It's a night of worship, prophetic ministry, miracle signs and wonders. You still have time to get here. It's 5:45 now. Doors open at 6:45. If you're in SoCal, get off the phone and get here, or watch while you drive and join me tonight, because it's going to be amazing. But the first prophetic statement is this: stakes determine stability, not size. Here's the second prophetic statement I want to make to you today. Strong stakes are built in private, right? We've already hit that. Strong stakes are built in private. Stakes go deep underground where no one can see them. Stakes go deep underground where no one can see them. They're going deep. They're going deep beneath the ground. Strong stakes. So what does the underground work look like? Your prayer life. What's your secret connection with God? And is anything between you and God, or do you feel like everything that God says to you is somehow for public display? You know, an open book. Siri, please. Is everything supposed to be public? Are there some things that in your prayer life just belong to you and God? It's like sometimes we can be the friend that you can't tell nothing. I just need to find out, has anybody ever had a friend that everything you tell them, like, it's being shared somewhere, and like you're hearing snippets of it, and it's like, I only told that to Sally. So how in the world do you even have any information about it? Because like, is anything private? Is anything between me and you, or is we feel like everything's for revelation? I feel like one of the next levels to your relationship, if you haven't shared, first of all, go ahead and share this and invite someone to come on. The next level of your relationship with him is that some things in your time with God are just simply private. He's just talking to you. He wasn't talking to everybody else. It wasn't a purpose to go live. It wasn't a purpose to write a book. It wasn't a purpose to talk to Claude or or Chat GPT to give you your next digital product. It was just God was just talking to you about you. So you have to understand when we're talking about the underground works, right? Of strengthening your stakes in private, we're talking about your prayer life. We're talking about your word study. We're talking about your word study. You must build on the foundation of truth. And for some of us, this is boring. Why? Because we like the shiny, bright stuff in public where people can see. And it's important that we are not just studying the word, here it is again, for public display. That we're not just reading the word for opportunities to be able to express or show everybody, look at this revelation I have. Look what the Lord said to me. No, he wants you to be able to build what he's causing for you to build on the foundation of truth. Okay. What's that underground work look like? It looks like integrity. It looks like integrity. Who are you? I'll hear this again. Who are you when nobody's watching? Who are you when nobody's watching? In my leadership expression, I've had some people throughout the years who behaved a certain way in front of me, and then when I was turned around or not around or not physically present, they behaved differently. They didn't have any integrity. Like they wanted to seem like they were something in front of who they considered to be the big honcho or the leader. But then when they got around people that they didn't properly honor or didn't respect, they were a whole different person. What a high level lack of integrity. Like walking in good character at all times matters. What does this underground work look like? Relationships. How do you treat people behind closed doors? How do you treat people behind closed doors? I always say this. It's nice to be nice. It's nice to be nice. And I'm really in this season of my life, I am so grateful for people who are kind. For people that are kind, because I had a stint of time where I realized that people, yes, Christians, can be really mean sometimes. Can be really mean sometimes. And so I've learned to be grateful when people are kind and to show my gratitude immediately. Like, I used to maybe like brag on somebody behind their back and be like, "Oh, that was so nice what they did for me," or "That was so great." And I'm like, "No, how about for now on, anytime anybody's kind, I'm going to be loud and proud about it, and I'm going to brag on them openly because of the fact that I just realized it is something that is actually more uncommon than not when people are actually kind. So, how are you dealing with people behind? That's the underground work. Faithfulness. Faithfulness is the underground work, right? What your consistency looks like in small things. Okay. Here's a challenge. Show me your private life and I'll show you your future capacity. Show me your private life and I'll show you your future capacity. So the first prophetic statement I wanted to make to you, and I've made to you already, is stakes determine stability, not size. Here it is. Strong stakes are built in prayer, or built in private, rather. Strong stakes are built in private. Here's the third thing. Stakes must be stretched before the storm. Stakes must be stretched before the storms. You don't strengthen your stakes during the storm. You strengthen your stakes before the storm. So here's a prophetic warning. Some of us are about to step into new levels of influence, income, and impact. That's a word of the Lord to you. You're getting ready to step into new levels of influence, income, and impact that will test the stakes of your life. It's going to test the strength of the tent that you have, your influence, your expression. It's going to test that. You cannot wait to strengthen it when the storm comes. You strengthen your stakes now. You strengthen your stakes now. The enemy is planning to use your success against you. I'm seeing this even in secular arenas, and in just leadership, period, both in secular arenas and in religious arenas. I'm seeing this over and over and over, where the enemy doesn't mind helping to push you forward, give you access and open doors, even with bad character or things that are happening around you that are not lining up with the kingdom. Let me tell you why. Because he's setting you up to destroy you. He wants you to get to a certain pinnacle, and then once you get there, expose you. Are we not watching this happen? Where we think or we feel like we've gotten away with it. We think or we feel like no one will ever know. And God's like, I'm trying to help you to prepare correctly for the season ahead. The influence, the income, the impact is going to come, and you need to be ready. So there's some things that I want you to think about when you're thinking about preparing your stakes, right? Preparing and strengthening your stakes before the storm. Let's talk a little bit about success. Here's a question I want to ask you. Can you handle being celebrated? Can you handle being celebrated? There's definitely been moments where I had to realize, okay, you have moments where you let that go a little bit too much to your head. When you have people, when you've been given influence, you get opportunities, and people are calling your name and people are saying things about you, you have to keep yourself in the place where you're reminded that none of this is because of you. All of it is because of him. You can't start being celebrated and then you start taking on a Messiah complex. You start feeling like you're just flat out amazing. It's nothing wrong with understanding you're amazing. Here's the key: is knowing the source of what makes you amazing. It's him. He makes you amazing. He makes you phenomenal. He makes you great. So can you handle being celebrated? Here's the next question to make you ponder, think for a moment, is can you handle being attacked? We whine right now because somebody rolls their eyes at us. Are you ready for high-level criticism? You've got to strengthen your stakes. At the end of the day, people pleasing, it can't be a part of your journey. The one that you must please is him. The one that you must pleases him. And if I'm telling you, if you don't do this, what happens is that the enemy comes in and he'll have you worried about people celebrating you or not celebrating you. People are fickle. There'll be moments where they'll say great things about you, and there's moments where they'll say they hate you. You cannot be the whiner that when some kind of attack comes, then you want to quit. You can't be the individual that when things begin to stir around you, then you're like, I'm out. No, God's calling you to strengthen your stakes. The criticism will come. It comes along with influence. Get that in your head. Get that in your heart. There will always be people who have something to say, either negative or positive, about your moves. You don't do it for them. You do it to be obedient to the king. Right? So can you handle being celebrated? Can you handle being attacked? Can you handle increased responsibility? That's pressure. Can you handle increased responsibility? Y'all, I know folks that always said they wanted to be used by God, praying, God, use me, praying, God, send me, praying, God, open up the doors, praying, God, make me your instrument. Lord, use me in this and use me in that. And then when God starts using them, they start complaining. This is too much. Oh my God. Oh my God. So many requirements. I'm like, what planet are we living in where you thought that being used by God meant that it was going to be simple or easy? But if you don't prepare yourself and if you don't strengthen your stakes ahead of time, when the increased responsibility comes, when the increased responsibility comes into your hand, you will flip out. You will trip out. You will not you will not be able to focus on what God has called for you to do, because you're going to feel like, oh, this is too much for me. This is too much for me. No, strengthen your stakes ahead of time. Find out the fact that God has actually prepared you for this moment. You're able to handle the increased responsibility. So, what stakes do you need to strengthen before the increase comes? Because I have the word of the Lord to you tonight. Okay? I have the word of the Lord for you tonight. He said that he's about to promote some of us to levels that we've never seen before, but he needs to know that your stakes can handle it. Okay? God has watched some of his children get blessed, then destroyed because the character couldn't carry the calling. And the Lord says, I'm strengthening your stakes right now. The trials you've been going through aren't punishment, they're preparation. That's what the Lord told me to tell you. The trials that you're going through, they're not punishment, they're preparation. The pressure you've been feeling isn't to break you, it's to strengthen your foundation. And there's a bunch of you who've been wondering why the increase is taking so long. It's because God's taking this time with strengthening your stakes. And the Lord said, I'd rather you wait and be stable than you get it fast and lose it all. I was 18 years old and I had this interaction with a spiritual mother in my life. Her name is Judith Christie McAllister, Dr. Judith Christie McAllister. I was 18 years old, just graduated from high school, and I was sitting down. This is 1999, so I'm sitting down with a graphic artist. And back then in ministry, the thing was to have like your logo, letterhead, business cards. So I'm sitting down with this graphic artist, and he's mapping out how he's going to help me launch Sherman Dumas Ministries. We're sitting down, we're looking at the logos. He brought me several logos. And so I'm in the offices of the church that I grew up at and started in ministry at, West Angeles Church in Los Angeles, California. So I'm in the offices. So Dr. McAllister walks by, kind of looks, and then didn't say nothing, but just walks to go where she was going. Later, she asked me, what were you doing? And I said, I was having a meeting about my logos, my cards, my letterhead. And I'll never forget what she said to me that day. She said, first of all, she said, it's not time. And I was offended. I was like, what do you mean it's not time? I know God has called me. His hand is upon me. It's what I'm thinking in my head. She said, it's not time. She said, Sherman, do you want to be a shooting star here one day and gone the next? Or do you want to have lasting power? I said, I want to have lasting power, Dr. McAllister. She said, then let God process you. It's not time. I was 18. I did not launch Sherman Dumas Ministries until I was 30. 12 years later, God needed to do something in me so that I could have lasting power. Not up one day and gone the next, but that I would be able to have sustainability. Because God knew that what He was designing me to build was something massive. He knew there was a movement on the inside of me. And if I had started doing things outside of the fact that I was anointed, just doing things because I was called, but yet I wasn't prepared, the things that the enemy has tried to send towards my wife and I over these 16 years would amaze you. Some of the stuff has never even been public. Like, people think they know our story, but the ways that the enemy has tried to take us out, if we had not been processed, we would have quit and given up a long time ago. But because we let the Lord strengthen our stakes, we were able to go in the process that He told us to go into. So I'm trying to help you today by giving you the word of the Lord to allow Him to strengthen your stakes in this hour. I'm gonna go back to the text and then I'm out of here. Okay, here it is. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 2, right? Enlarge the place of your tent. Let them stretch out your curtains, the curtains of your dwelling. Do not spare. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. Lengthen your cords and strengthen your stakes. Lengthen your cord, strengthen your stakes. It's not anybody else's job. It's your job to strengthen your stakes. Father, I thank you for everybody that's watching this, either live or on the replay. You have called them to walk in lasting power. You've called for them to build something that is massive, something that is going to impact them and live beyond the generations that they live in. Father, I thank you, Lord, that the enemy will not succeed. He will not succeed in causing for anything that they're building to crumble. But I thank you, Lord, that they're grabbing a hold of this prophetic word today and they're going to apply it. They're going to do the work, the deep work, the private work, so God, they can be prepared for the public ministry. Thank you for that. They're going to do the deep work and the private work so they can be prepared for the public ministry. And I thank you, Lord, that you're doing something amazing on the inside of them. They will not be denied, but they're going to walk in the fullness of what you call for them to walk in Jesus' name. Hey, don't go anywhere. Something I want to tell you. I'm hosting an amazing gathering September 25th and 27th in Dallas, Texas. It's called Freedom Conference. It's a time for you to experience the supernatural power of God in ways that I just would say that ways that many of us have not experienced before. There's a level of glory that God is going to release during this gathering. It's time for you to experience the prophetic, healing, deliverance, miracles, being activated in it, and then learning how to be able to take it to impact the culture around you, not just the church, not just religious sectors, the culture around you. And I'm so excited because, to be honest with you, in 15 years of hosting this conference, I've never seen this level of demand on the conference, and the tickets are going, they're insane. They're going so fast, and I don't want you to miss it. I don't want you to miss conference. And so I'm telling you, there's some gatherings that are just marked by God, and you've got to know when God has opened up opportunities. Some of you have been praying for breakthrough. You've been praying to be able to connect. You've been praying and believing God to be in atmospheres where you can be around like-minded people that helps literally launch you into the place of fulfillment in your life. And I'm telling you that Freedom Conference is your answer to prayer. It's your answer to prayer. I'm bringing speakers from around the world to be able to impact your life, worship leaders that are going to cause for you to experience the glory and the presence of God and lead you into those spaces. but I need you to go and register now. And I'm trying to warn everybody swiftly to grab your tickets. It's crazy. Last week, boom, it went up. So listen to me. You want to go to freedomconf.com, freedomconf.com, and make your way. If you got to get on a plane, a bus, if you have people drive, whatever you got to do to get to Freedom Conference, you want to be in the spot. And I feel like God is going to transform your life forever at Freedom Conference. And so we want you to be there. Listen, if this has blessed you, I'm telling everybody, if you want to sow a seed, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to sow a seed. And here's what it is. I need you to know that Dr. Jaquette, my wife and I, we're getting ready to go to both Ghana and Tanzania next month. And when we get to Tanzania, we're going to a village to serve some young children there. And we want to be able to bless those children in Tanzania. And we're looking for as many people as possible who would be willing to partner with us to bless those children by sowing a seed of any amount. You can help us take, they really want soccer balls and they love the soccer balls. And we want to take a ton of soccer balls out there to the continent of Africa, but we need you to help us do it. So you can go to either my Cash App, which is the $ Sherman Dumas and the number 2, or you can go on my website, shermandumas.com, and you can sow there. So either Cash App, $ Sherman Dumas, the number 2, or you can go to shermandumas.com and you can sow there. But I want to encourage you to sow something of any amount will help us to be able to serve these children as we go. I'm so excited about this. If we go to the continent of Africa next month, and we're able to share with them and be a part of the transformation of lives. And so I want you to do that. If you're sowing, I'm just very interested on who's on and who may be sowing tonight. If you're sowing, just drop into the comments, I'm sowing. And we honor and appreciate you for being a part of this. Again, if you're in Southern California, we're just less than an hour away. The move of God is about to hit this place, detonate. It's happening. You still have time to get here. Listen to me. I'm about to run. I'm going to go to sound check and say hello to all of the folks. I see Flatina over on Facebook said, I'm sowing. Thank you so much for your generosity and sowing into these young children in Tanzania, or excuse me, I'm told that the correct pronunciation is Tanzania. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your seed today. Braided Elevation over on Instagram. Thank you. Thank you, Faithful. Sharice, thank you, Jordan's one. Thank you, Tasha and Miles over on Facebook. Thank you for those that'll be sowing. Help us to make an impact. All right, friends, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.